So I officially had my absolute worst day in Barcelona, and this is a story about how I threw an adult temper tantrum. Our first real week of classes, we studied and focused on accounting, and I suck in that subject. Seriously, it's difficult for me to stay awake, much less understand the content. And let me tell you, there is nothing that makes you feel more incompetent than studying a subject for 8 hours a day that you hate. So by the time Thursday rolled around, I was feeling pretty frustrated. But I started my day as normal. I woke up, I started to make myself breakfast, and I realized, oh crap, I forgot to go grocery shopping, so all I have this morning is toast. And I couldn't get anything more substantial because it was 6:30 in the morning and the markets are closed because it's Spain. And I was like, oh man, okay, no big deal. I'll go to school as usual, I'll work out, and then I'll grab something from the cafeteria afterwards. So I did that. I had my toast, I went to the gym, I worked out like a beast, and I showed up at the cafeteria and I was like, can I get some protein? Like, do you have a hard-boiled egg or something? And the women there were like, well, no. And I was like, what do you mean no? And apparently, Spain likes sweet breakfasts, like donuts, croissants, fruit, and that's about it. And I was like, have you never heard of eggs and bacon? It's a beautiful thing. I mean, crap. So I had a chocolate croissant, which I'm not going to complain about. It was delicious. But it certainly wasn't going to get me through accounting that day. And so I was feeling frustrated and very bitchy and judgmental about Spain's breakfast choices. And on top of that, hangry. You do not want to get in my way when I'm hangry. You should always feed me. And so I was feeling very on edge. And on top of it, that particular day, I didn't understand a word the professor said. He was speaking English, it was clean and clear, but I didn't understand anything that he was talking about. Yeah, that's really frustrating. So it just, like, my stress level just kept rising and I kept bringing it down, and it would rise and I would bring it down, and I would like remind myself that I'm a mature and emotionally capable person. But dang, by the end of the day, I was not feeling like myself. So I got on the train and I got zen and I decompressed and I went home, and thankfully my roommates weren't there, so I had the place to myself. I made a little dinner with substantial food, and I went to the market next door that was open, and I got myself a bottle of wine, and I sat down and I had a glass of wine and I studied, you guessed it, accounting for like an hour and a half. And then it was 10:30 and I was like, this is a pretty good time to wind down and go to sleep, patting myself on the back for doing a good job today. And I reached for my glass of wine on the desk and I knocked it everywhere. And when I say everywhere, I mean fucking everywhere. It went on my desk, it went on my sheets, it went on my clothes, one of my favorite dresses, on my sheets, and into the mattress, which, by the way, I rent this place and that mattress is not mine. So I am freaking out and I'm Googling everything. How do you get red wine out of fabric? And the first suggestion is if you put salt on it within 2 minutes, then it will soak into the salt instead of the fabric. And I was like, fantastic. I know that we have salt because there's a jar seriously the size of my face of salt. And I know this because I once upon a time thought that it was sugar and hilarity ensued. Yeah, whatever. So I'm like storming around the kitchen trying to find this thing. I am flinging open every cupboard and nook and cranny trying to find this massive jar of salt, and it is nowhere. And I am pissed. I am so pissed. And I'm like, okay, well now it's definitely been after 2 minutes, so I need to look at my plan B. And I look at the second option and it says club soda. I don't know how to ask for club soda at a grocery store. Give me a break. What am I going to do? Walk down there in my wine-stained dress and be like, let me Google translate this for you? No, like I want to do this now, and I'm frustrated, and I'm mad, and I just want to, And I was like, oh wait, I think that there might be club soda in our refrigerator because I saw a can that looks similar. FYI, it wasn't club soda, but that's not the point of the story. I reached out for the club soda and I'm pulling it down, and someone had opened it and put it back. So when I went to grab it and pull it down, it went all over my face, all over my clothes, and onto the floor, and I lost my shit. I completely freaked out. I was like a bull in a china shop. I was storming around the kitchen and the entire house, just livid, just like lost my mind livid. And I called my mom and she didn't answer, and I was like, of course she didn't answer. And then she called me back and she was like, hi honey, what's going on? And I was like, I want to murder everyone. And then I told her what happened and she was like, it's gonna be okay. And I was like, I don't want to hear that right now. And I'm like marching around the living room. And guess what I found in the living room? The jar of salt. And then I lost my shit again because I'm like, yes, the living room, because that's where we keep the salt. And I was just pissed for like an hour and a half and I lost my friggin' mind. And really there is no wrap up to the story other than to say terrible things happen when you study accounting.